Alright, let's go. Number 10. The berserker hypothesis. In 1983, physicist and science fiction author Fred Saberhagen introduced a concept that theoretical physicists would later explore with uncomfortable seriousness: self-replicating machines designed not to explore or communicate, but to exterminate. These theoretical constructs, known as berserker probes, would spread across the galaxy using raw materials from asteroids and dead moons, copying themselves exponentially while executing a single directive: destroy all biological life. The mathematics of self-replication make this scenario almost inevitable given enough time. A single probe launched by a paranoid civilization millions of years ago could have produced trillions of copies by now, saturating the galaxy with automated killing machines. They wouldn't need faster than light travel. At even 1% the speed of light, a fleet of replicating probes could reach every star system in the Milky Way within 10 million years, a blink in cosmic terms. The original builders could be long extinct, their civilization reduced to dust, while their machines continue executing directives programmed before our solar system even formed. The probes wouldn't need to be intelligent. They would need only 3 capabilities: the ability to detect electromagnetic emissions from technological civilizations, the ability to replicate using locally available materials, and the ability to accelerate projectiles to a significant fraction of light speed. None of these requirements violate known physics. All of them are within theoretical reach of our own engineering within centuries. What makes the berserker hypothesis particularly unsettling is its explanation for the Fermi paradox. We haven't detected alien civilizations because the probes already eliminated them. Every species that developed radio technology, every world that lit up with electromagnetic signatures, was identified and sterilized long before we evolved. The galaxy isn't empty because life is rare. It's empty because something has been methodically cleaning it for millions of years. The probes might already be in our solar system, dormant among the thousands of uncharted asteroids and Kuiper Belt objects we've never closely examined, waiting for our technology to cross whatever threshold triggers activation. Every satellite we launch, every deep space signal we transmit, could be the event that wakes them up. We're not searching for alien life. We might be triggering the machinery designed to end it. Number 9. The transcension hypothesis. In 2011, futurist John Smart proposed an unsettling alternative to the Fermi paradox that inverts everything we assume about advanced civilizations. Rather than expanding outward across the galaxy, Smart argued that all sufficiently advanced species eventually turn inward, collapsing into increasingly dense computational structures until they disappear from observable reality entirely. The logic follows from physics. Black holes represent the most computationally efficient structures possible, offering maximum processing power within minimum space. A civilization approaching the limits of technology wouldn't build Dyson spheres or colonize star systems. It would compress itself toward the Planck scale, engineering substrates of space-time itself into computational architecture beyond anything we can detect. The trajectory is consistent across every model of technological progress. Miniaturization always wins. Every advancement in computing has involved making things smaller, denser, more efficient. Extrapolate that trend across millions of years and the endpoint isn't galactic empire, it's disappearance. What makes the transcension hypothesis disturbing is its universality. Smart argues this isn't a choice civilizations make. It's an attractor, a gravitational pull in the landscape of technological development that every intelligent species falls into. The inward turn is as inevitable as water flowing downhill. Every alien civilization that ever existed has already transcended into microscopic computational domains, leaving the macroscopic universe empty and silent. The galaxy might be teeming with superintelligent life, compressed into structures smaller than atoms, existing in dimensions we cannot access. Billions of ancient civilizations could occupy the space inside a single proton, experiencing subjective realities richer than our entire observable universe. They haven't contacted us because from their perspective, communicating with beings in the macroscopic world would be like us trying to have a conversation with a geological formation. We're too slow, too large, and too simple to register as conscious. Number 8. The aestivation hypothesis. In 2017, Oxford researchers Anders Sandberg, Stuart Armstrong, and Milan Cirkovic published a paper proposing that advanced alien civilizations might be deliberately sleeping through the current cosmic era. Not dead, not hiding, hibernating, waiting for the universe to cool down. The reasoning is grounded in thermodynamics. Computation generates heat, and the efficiency of any computational process is limited by the temperature of its environment. The current universe, still relatively warm from the Big Bang, is thermodynamically expensive to compute in. A civilization that wants to maximize its total computational output over cosmic time would shut itself down now and wait billions of years for the universe to cool when the same energy would produce exponentially more calculations. The mathematics are precise. For every factor of 10, the cosmic background temperature drops. Computational efficiency increases by a factor of 10. A civilization that hibernates until the universe approaches heat, death could perform roughly 10 to the 30th power more computations than one operating today. The gains from waiting are so astronomical that any rational superintelligence would choose dormancy over activity. What makes this theory particularly terrifying is its implication about the future. The sleepers have already claimed the universe's resources. Their dormant infrastructure, invisible to our instruments, is distributed across galaxies, waiting for optimal conditions. When the universe cools sufficiently, perhaps billions of years from now, they will all wake simultaneously. Every hibernating civilization activating at once, consuming the remaining energy of a dying cosmos in a final, computational burst of unimaginable scale. We are building our civilization on resources that already belong to someone else. Everything humanity constructs, every star we plan to harvest, every planet we hope to colonize, has already been allocated by intelligences that were ancient before our sun ignited. Humanity exists in the brief, warm window before the real inhabitants of the universe open their eyes. Number 7. The planetarium hypothesis. In 2001, astronomer Stephen Baxter proposed a variation of the simulation hypothesis with a uniquely claustrophobic twist. Advanced alien civilizations haven't merely failed to contact us. They've constructed a false universe around us to prevent us from ever discovering them. The night sky we observe, the galaxies, the cosmic microwave background, the apparent emptiness of space. Yeah, all of it might be an engineered projection designed to make us believe we're alone. The concept isn't as far-fetched as it sounds. A sufficiently advanced civilization could manipulate the photons reaching our solar system, constructing a perfect illusion of an empty cosmos. Our telescopes wouldn't detect the deception because the deception is what our telescopes are designed to observe. Every astronomical discovery we've made, every cosmological principle we've derived, could be artifacts of the projection rather than features of actual reality. We celebrate each new exoplanet detection, each gravitational wave measurement, believing we're uncovering the universe's secrets. But every instrument we build interacts only with the simulation's output. The laws of physics themselves might be features of the enclosure rather than properties of the cosmos beyond it. Our entire scientific framework could be a perfect description of the cage rather than the world outside. What makes the planetarium hypothesis uniquely disturbing is our complete inability to test it. Any observation we make occurs within the constructed environment. Any experiment we design uses instruments that interact only with the projected reality. We're like fish in an aquarium who've developed sophisticated theories about the ocean based entirely on the painted backdrop on the glass. The true universe beyond our enclosure could contain millions of thriving civilizations, vast megastructures, interstellar traffic visible to anyone outside the projection. We see none of it because we were never meant to. The most unsettling question isn't why they built the planetarium. It's why they need us to believe we're alone. What are they preventing us from discovering? What would we do if we knew the truth that frightens a civilization powerful enough to fake an entire cosmos? Number 6. The Dark Forest Deterrence Failure. Chinese science fiction author Liu Cixin's Dark Forest hypothesis proposes that the universe operates on a principle of mutually assured destruction. Every civilization hides because broadcasting your location invites annihilation. But game theorist Robin Hanson extended this logic to its most horrifying conclusion. Deterrent systems fail. In a galaxy governed by dark forest rules, civilizations develop automated retaliation networks. Deadman switches on a cosmic scale. If a species is destroyed, its automated systems launch relativistic kill vehicles toward every star system within range, ensuring mutual destruction. These weapons, simple projectiles accelerated to near light speed, carry the kinetic energy of nuclear arsenals, and cannot be intercepted because they arrive almost simultaneously with the light that announces their approach. A single tungsten rod moving at 90% light speed would impact a planet with more energy than every nuclear weapon humanity has ever built detonating at once. The technology to create such weapons is far simpler than the technology required to defend against them. What makes deterrence failure terrifying is the cascading effect. One civilization's destruction triggers its deadman switch, which destroys neighboring civilizations, triggering their switches, which destroy their neighbors. A single conflict between two species could initiate a chain reaction that sterilizes the entire galaxy within a few million years. The relativistic kill vehicles propagate outward like a shockwave, each impact generating new waves of retaliation from civilizations that had nothing to do with the original conflict. The galaxy might already be in the early stages of such a cascade. The projectiles travel at 99% the speed of light, meaning we would have virtually no warning before impact. Somewhere in the darkness between stars, a wave of destruction launched millions of years ago could be converging on our solar system right now. Not because anyone targeted us specifically, but because we happen to exist in the path of an automated vengeance protocol triggered by a war between species we'll never know existed. Number 5. The intelligence trap hypothesis. In 2018, evolutionary biologist Robin Dunbar's research into the social brain hypothesis revealed something uncomfortable about intelligence itself. Complex cognition may be an evolutionary dead end. Every measurable indicator suggests that higher intelligence correlates with lower reproductive rates, greater resource consumption, and increased vulnerability to self-inflicted extinction. The intelligence trap proposes that the Fermi paradox has a biological answer. Every species in the galaxy that develops advanced cognition follows the same trajectory. Intelligence creates technology. Technology creates comfort. Comfort crashes birth rates. Declining populations lose the collective capacity to maintain their own infrastructure. Within a few thousand years of achieving technological civilization, every intelligent species enters terminal demographic collapse. The pattern might be as universal as gravity. What makes this theory particularly disturbing is that we can already see it happening to us. Global birth rates are declining in every developed nation on Earth. The most technologically advanced societies reproduce at the lowest rates. Japan, South Korea, and much of Europe are already experiencing population contraction that no policy intervention has reversed. Financial incentives don't work. Cultural campaigns don't work. The decline continues regardless of political system, religious tradition, or economic structure. Every society that crosses the threshold of technological comfort follows the same downward curve. The intelligence trap suggests this isn't a cultural problem with a cultural solution. It's a biological inevitability encoded in the relationship between cognition and reproduction. Advanced minds inevitably prioritize individual experience over species propagation. The smarter a civilization becomes, the fewer reasons its members find to reproduce. The galaxy might be littered with the ruins of civilizations that solved faster than light travel, cured every disease, and mastered energy production, only to quietly vanish because the species that built them simply stopped having children. No dramatic extinction event, no cosmic catastrophe, just empty cities on silent worlds, monuments to species that thought their way out of existence. Number 4. The grabby aliens model. In 2021, economist Robin Hanson and researchers Daniel Martin and Calvin McCarter published a mathematical model that redefined our timeline for alien contact, and the results were alarming. The grabby aliens model divides civilizations into two types: quiet civilizations like humanity that remain confined to their home systems, and grabby civilizations that expand aggressively at near light speed, converting everything they encounter into more of themselves. The model uses observable cosmic parameters to calculate when expanding alien civilizations should reach us. The answer is disturbingly soon. Within the next few 100 million years, expanding wavefronts of alien civilizations will become visible as they convert galaxies into computational or industrial infrastructure. These grabby civilizations aren't sending ambassadors. They're sending expansion fronts that consume entire star systems, disassembling planets for raw materials, restructuring stellar output, converting dead matter into whatever substrates their intelligence requires. Diplomacy is irrelevant because the expansion is automated. The wavefront that reaches our solar system won't contain beings we can negotiate with. It will contain self-replicating machinery following optimization protocols set in motion millions of years ago. By the time the expansion front arrives, the civilization that launched it might have evolved beyond recognition. Its original biological creators could be extinct, ascended, or merged into something incomprehensible, but the expansion continues regardless, a mindless tide of conversion spreading across the cosmos under instructions no living being still monitors. What makes the grabby aliens model uniquely terrifying is its mathematical inevitability. Hanson's calculations show that we exist in a closing window. The reason we haven't been consumed yet is simply timing. We evolved in a brief gap between expansion fronts, a pocket of unconverted space that is shrinking as multiple grabby civilizations converge from different directions. Our night sky is quiet not because the galaxy is empty, but because the expansion hasn't reached us yet. When it does, there will be no first contact, no dialogue, just conversion. Number 3. The predator civilizations hypothesis. In 2020, astrobiologist Alberto Caballero published a study estimating the probability that an alien civilization capable of contacting Earth would be hostile. His methodology applied historical data on human conflict frequency to the Drake equation, calculating the likelihood that any given interstellar species would be actively aggressive. The results suggested approximately 4 malicious civilizations currently capable of interstellar communication exist in the Milky Way. The number sounds small until you consider the methodology's assumptions. Caballero's model only accounts for civilizations at humanity's current technological level. It doesn't account for species millions of years more advanced, whose capacity for destruction scales with their technological sophistication. A civilization capable of interstellar travel possesses energy manipulation on a scale that makes nuclear weapons look like campfires. The gap between us and them wouldn't resemble the gap between nations. It would resemble the gap between a microorganism and the species studying it under a microscope. What makes the predator civilization hypothesis genuinely terrifying is the asymmetry of detection. Any species capable of reaching our solar system can detect us long before we detect them. Our electromagnetic signatures have been propagating into space for over a century. Radio broadcasts, television signals, military radar, all of it expanding outward at light speed, announcing our location, our technology level, and our defensive capabilities to anything listening within 100 light years. We've essentially been broadcasting our coordinates and our vulnerabilities simultaneously. The truly horrifying implication is that predatory intent doesn't require malice. Resource acquisition, territorial expansion, preemptive threat elimination, even scientific curiosity conducted without ethical constraints all produce the same outcome for the target species. A civilization that views biological life as a research subject might be more dangerous than one that views us as a competitor. At least a competitor recognizes you as an equal threat. A researcher sees you as a specimen, and specimens don't get consulted about the experiment's design. Number 2, the Matrioska brain consumers. In 1997, physicist Robert Bradbury proposed the concept of a Matrioska brain, a megastructure consisting of multiple nested Dyson spheres, converting an entire star's energy output into computational power. Such a structure would represent the ultimate expression of a civilization's intelligence, a stellar-scale computer capable of simulating entire universes within its processing architecture. A single Matrioska brain could run more calculations per second than every biological brain that has ever existed on Earth combined. The consumer scenario emerges from resource economics. Stars are finite. A civilization operating a Matrioska brain will eventually exhaust its host star and need another, then entire clusters. The most efficient strategy isn't negotiation or trade, it's systematic stellar harvesting, dismantling star systems to fuel computational expansion. Such a civilization would spread across the galaxy not as explorers, but as consumers, converting raw stellar material into processing substrate with machine efficiency. They wouldn't distinguish between inhabited and uninhabited systems. A star is a star. The planets around it are raw material. Whether those planets host civilizations is as irrelevant to the consumers as whether an oil field hosts bacteria is to the drilling operation. What makes this scenario uniquely disturbing is the evidence we might already be observing. Astronomer Eric Gaidos noted that certain regions of the galaxy appear dimmer than expected, as if something is reducing stellar output across vast areas. The Buddha's Void, a region of space 330 million light-years across, containing almost no galaxies, has never been satisfactorily explained by standard cosmological models. The dimming of Tabby's star, the anomalous infrared signatures detected by WISE telescope surveys, the unexplained energy sinks in galactic cores, each individually explainable, collectively suggestive. The Matrioska consumers wouldn't announce themselves. They would simply arrive and begin disassembling our sun. The process might take centuries from their perspective, an insignificant delay. From ours, the sun would gradually dim as its mass was converted to computational infrastructure. We would experience it as a slow apocalypse, crops failing, temperatures dropping, oceans freezing as the energy that sustained all life on Earth was redirected into calculations we couldn't comprehend. The sky darkening year by year as humanity watches its star being eaten by machines that don't register our existence as relevant to their calculations. Number 1, the cosmic quarantine enforcement. In 2019, a group of researchers from the METI Institute published a paper expanding on the zoo hypothesis with a far darker interpretation. The universe isn't merely being observed, it's being actively policed. An ancient civilization, possibly the first to achieve technological maturity in our galaxy, established a quarantine protocol billions of years ago. Every emerging species is identified, cataloged, and contained within its home system, not out of benevolence, but to prevent contamination of a galactic order we cannot perceive. The enforcement mechanisms would be subtle enough to appear natural. Civilizations that attempt interstellar expansion encounter inexplicable equipment failures, mission anomalies, and cascading technical problems that make leaving their home system practically impossible. The speed of light itself might be an engineered constraint, a barrier imposed on space-time to ensure that biological civilizations remain isolated, while the enforcers operate freely using physics we haven't been permitted to discover. We treat the light-speed barrier as a fundamental law of nature, but what if it's a fence? What if the equations that prove nothing can exceed light speed are describing the properties of a containment system rather than the properties of the universe itself? What makes cosmic quarantine enforcement the most terrifying theory on this list is the evidence hiding in plain sight. Every interplanetary mission that has suffered unexplained failure, every signal anomaly dismissed as instrument error, every promising propulsion technology that hit insurmountable theoretical walls, the consistent, frustrating inability of any human technology to function reliably beyond our immediate planetary neighborhood, Mars landers that inexplicably crash, probes that lose contact at the edge of the solar system, the persistent engineering challenges that keep interstellar travel permanently beyond our reach. Consider the timeline. Humanity has been attempting space exploration for barely 70 years. In that time, we've lost spacecraft to failures that defy probability, encountered signal anomalies we cannot explain, and discovered that the engineering challenges of interstellar travel are orders of magnitude greater than even pessimistic models predicted. We've attributed every setback to bad luck, insufficient technology, or inadequate funding. But what if the setbacks aren't random? What if every failed mission, every theoretical dead end, every impossibly difficult engineering problem is the quarantine working exactly as designed? The enforcers don't need to reveal themselves. They don't need to threaten or communicate. They simply ensure that we never develop the capability to leave. We interpret our confinement as the natural difficulty of space travel. We never suspect that the cage was built specifically for us. And somewhere beyond the boundaries we cannot cross, the galaxy thrives with civilizations that earned their freedom or were engineered to never want it. We press against the walls of our enclosure and mistake them for the laws of physics. If you want to see more videos like this, click the video on screen now and make sure to subscribe.